Hello, my name is Lubna Kerr. And people say to me, that's an interesting name. That's an unusual name. I've not heard that name before. And all they really want to know is, where am I from? You know, Glasgow or Edinburgh. And they find my first name, Lubna, even more bizarre. And they'll say to me, oh, that's an interesting name. That's an unusual name. I've not heard that before. Well, I have. And all they really want to know is, where am I really, really from? But what difference does my heritage make to them? Does it make me a nicer person? Are they trying to find out which football team I support? Well, in Glasgow. Or maybe they want to see if my house is worth robbing. So my first name is Lubna. It's quite straightforward. Can you say it 2 syllables, Lubna? Yeah? I get called all sorts of things. Linda, Lubina, nosy cow. In Portuguese, Linda means a pretty one. I'm quite happy with that. In Spanish, Lubina means sea bass. I am not an old trout yet. And nosy cow, well, in any language, that's just true. When people ask me where my name is from, say if a Scottish person asks me, I'll say, well, actually, I was named after Loch Lubnaig on the west coast of Scotland. And there's a wee Jeannie and she's like, aye, hen, I've been there for my holidays. And then when an American person asks me, I say, well, actually, it's German. And they're like, oh, yeah. Like they think I'm German, And if a Pakistani person asks me where my name is from, I'm like, listen, we're no related. Because all brown people, we think we're all related. Maybe we came from the same village. I'm like, what, Glasgow? Oh, perhaps I knew your grandfather. I so want to say Gandhi, but I know she'll throw a slipper at me. And then the ultimate question, are you married? Oh. Do you know the Pakistani culture? We don't have forced marriages. No, that was Charles and Diana. We have introductions. We match up the people's background, the education, the ugliness. Well, heaven forbid we mix a gene pool. We could end up with a Pakistani version of the British royal family or the Kardashians. And I don't think the world could cope with 2 Prince Andrews. So yeah, my surname Kerr, is unusual. Well, I married a Scotsman. Somebody had to. Us immigrants doing the jobs that nobody else will do. When we got together, he thought I was posh. Because I wasn't orange like the rest of the girls in the state. When they went to the bingo at night, it was like the Orange Walk. Now, see, that joke works in Glasgow because you know what I'm talking about. But when I gig in England, I have to change it. I've like, when they went out at night, it was like a row of tango tings with club biscuits. Yeah, you see, bigotry doesn't travel, but obesity does. When we got together, when we got engaged, I got this big rock. I just didn't realise I'd need to smoke it first. That's one for the junkies out there. Anyway, my husband started to panic when my tan wouldn't fade. Like, no matter how hard he rubbed. And when the children came out cafe latte coloured, well, he knew he'd been snookered. You see, he thought he was getting one of those meek and mild Pakistani women that the media wants to portray. Now, I don't know why they do that. Maybe it's because a few weeks ago, Andrew Marr said that Asian women walked 3 paces behind their husbands. And I was just thinking, the late Duke of Edinburgh, he couldn't have been racist because he always walked 5 paces behind the Queen. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't know any Pakistani women that would walk 5 paces behind their husband. All the Pakistani women I know, they'd eat men for breakfast. So, talking of food, the reason my husband did draw the short straw was because he thought I could cook curries. Now, which part of this face says I can cook curries? I mean, it's like, do all brown people know how to cook curries? Do we have the cooking gene? It's like, do all white people know how to bake? No, that's why we've got Mary Berry, Great British Bake Off, and of course, Greggs. So I meet a lot of very, very interesting people in my journey, and I want to introduce you to Auntie G. She's the world's newest chat show host and confidant, and she's a sweet auntie. Hello, salam alaikum, namaste, sasrikal, shalom. Now, if I didn't say hello in your language, it's probably because it's a place that Britain didn't colonize. You know, Britain went to the far-flung places of the world where the weather was amazing, the colours bright and beautiful, and the flavours exotic. And what did they bring back? The crown jewels. I mean, could they not have brought the weather with them? Everywhere we go, always bring the weather. You know that song, don't you? Yes. I think it was by the Beatles, maybe. You know the real reason that the British went to these far-flung places? It was to teach the natives how to play cricket. Turns out the natives are pretty good at playing cricket. Yes. But let me greet you properly. Hello, my kitty cats, my penguin biscuits, my Tunnix caramel wafers. Auntie G here, the world's newest chat show host and confidant. I get letters from people all over the world asking for my sage advice. Not sage those advice. They need my advice as well. People say that I'm the Scottish Ellen DeGeneres, or the Pakistani Miss Marple, or the Asian Mrs. Merton, because I'm female, funny, and a nosy cow. I could be the love child of Honey G, Ali G, and Gina G. My favourite threesome. But let me tell you about myself first. I've come from a place far, far away where the roads are covered in tracks, and the wise men, they sit in a house made of bamboo sticks where the sun always shines on Leith. Yes, I'm from Edinburgh. I'm so sorry, Glasgow people. I hope you forgive me. I've been here in England. Well, it is according to Priti Patel. In England for 40 years. On a student visa. I've done so many degrees. I have a PhD in PhDs. I am Boris Johnson's worst nightmare. And not only because I have his personal mobile number, but also because I've met all his wives and I know how many children he has. I'm Tory Party's worst nightmare. You know, an immigrant with a brain, an accent, an extended family. I mean, I don't drive a taxi or have a corner shop. No, I sold them all to Tesco's. But I have just bought my first sports car, a Mercedes. I thought I better buy German, whilst I still could, before the wall comes up. The wall that Donald Trump was going to build around me, because he thinks I'm Jennifer Lopez. I mean, I'm not J-Lo. No. I'm her Scottish sister. From another mother, twice removed by the police. The police are my biggest fans. They stop me all the time. I say to them, "Officer, do you want my autograph?" No? Or you want to find out where I got this tan from? Or you just fat slobs, you couldn't catch anybody else? Or maybe I think they're looking for the cocaine in my car, or the ketamine, or maybe just the samosas. The police are very diligent at what they do. They took everything out and they put everything back in. Yes, there are some benefits to racial profiling. My car has never been so clean. I'll do anything for a free valet. That's what Scottish people and Pakistani people have in common. Yes, we don't like to spend money. No, I'm not saying we're mean. We will pay anything as long as we think we're getting a bargain. The other thing that Scottish people, or I should say Glaswegians and Pakistani people have in common is that we're very friendly and we love to talk. Yes, we're just generous with our time. Have you ever met a real Pakistani person? Oh, this is what she'll say. "Hello, how are you? Where are you from? How long have you lived here? What job do you do? How much money do you earn? Are you married? How long do you have left on your biological clock? Do you have any children? No boys? Oh, chi, what a shame." And she will say that without pausing. Yes. If asking questions was an Olympic sport, Pakistani woman would get the gold medal every time. and no performance-enhancing drugs required. Just spices. You know, the Chinese should use Pakistani woman. Then they wouldn't need to have 5G on their Huawei phones. And if the Russians use Pakistani woman, they wouldn't need Novichok. And if the Saudis met a Pakistani woman, they would run a mile. So I get letters from famous people. And my latest letter was from Nicola Sturgeon, First Minister. She said, "Dear Auntie G, I have a question." She says, "Do you think I should ask the Scottish people to exercise twice a day?" I said, "Oh my giddy aunt, Nikki baby, what are you thinking? Scottish people and Pakistani people, we don't even exercise once a month. You want them to do twice a day? You'll give them a heart attack. No, we don't want to be wafer thin. We just want to eat Dunnock's caramel wafers." Yes. I have to go now, but it's lovely to see you, my kitty cats, my penguin biscuits, my Dunnock's caramel wafers. Auntie G saying bye-bye. Oh, isn't Auntie G a hoot? If you don't know who Auntie G is in your family, maybe it's you. So let me ask you, have you been following all the COVID guidance? Washing your hands 5 times a day, wearing your face mask, socially distancing, giving to charity. You do realise that's Sharia law through the back door, don't you? Yeah. See, people think that Boris Johnson is an Islamophobe, but he's not. He is a dedicated follower of Islam. Look, he's married to one woman and engaged to another. His grandfather would be so proud of him. You do know he was Muslim, don't you? Talking of proud, I did a PhD and my parents were so proud of me. My mum was like, "Oh, meet my daughter, Dr. Lubna, doctors underlined." Actually, I took after my father. He came over here to do a PhD. Just in case you were thinking, bus driver, shopkeeper, sold drugs. No, he did all 3. So we were brought up in Govan in Glasgow initially, and we met some very interesting characters. And I want to introduce you to wee Jeannie. As my friend said to me, "Hey Jean, what's that brown-skinned woman like? She dresses like an Arab and sounds like an Indian, has got those wild wains." Have you seen her, Clays? There's more flowers in there than there is in the Botanic Gardens. There's more flowers in her dresses than there is in my carpets and my wallpaper. And she doesn't wear shoes. She wears sandals the whole year round. Aye. And then her hair is so shiny. I dinna ken what she uses on it. And it's as black as the night. I think she uses coal. She's all very friendly. Always giving us some food. What does she think I canna cook? Have you tried her food? The hell Clay smells when she cooks. I thought my John would be raging. Aye, so I did. He's no racist, aye. He just doesn't like foreign people or foreign food. But you know what? She ran him over, so she did. She gave him this thing. It was called a zamooza. Aye, it was like a triangle pie with spices in it. He said it reminded of him when he was in the Navy. He tried a lot of different things then. I think it was black magic. But do you ken what? It's those wains I feel sorry for. Aye, I said to her, "Look, you need to go to Woolies to get wellies for those wains." And she's like, "What is a wellie?" Oh, like, "It's a Wellington, you boot." She's like, "Wellington? Was that not a duke?" Oh, I'm like, "A duke?" I don't ken what sort of education they get over there, but have you ever heard of a Wellington being called a duke? Right. I've heard of a beef Wellington. So I thought, I give her a taste of our hospitality. Aye, I'll buy her a fish supper. And she goes to me, "Did I make it?" What does she think? Does she think that I went to school? Catholic or Protestant? No, I didn't. They're all shite. And then the chips. She didn't know what they were. I'm like, they're white vegetables. And then the fish, she's like, what's the coating? I'm like, it's beer batter. She's like, what's a beer? Well, I'm like, I need to take you for a pint. She wanted to bring the Waynes with her. I'm like, what sort of family life do they have? I'm like, no, get a babysitter. And she's like, babysitter? Do you sit on babies? I was just pissing myself. I'm like, aye, only the big ones. There was something that was really bothering me. I didn't ken if she liked salt and sauce or salt and vinegar on her stuff. She's like, sauce? I'm like, brown sauce, like a red sauce. And she goes to me, did we not have chutney? Chutney, I said. Mango chutney. I'm like, hold on a minute here, hen. Hold on a minute. Are you sure you're no English? You'll all know a wee Jeannie, won't you? I love that Scotland-England banter. It's great, isn't it? So in 2019, I was doing the Edinburgh Fringe show, and my show was called Where Are You Really From? And I was flyering, and people would say to me, oh, so where are you from? And I'm like, oh, come to the show and you'll find out. But then they wanted to guess. The American would say, you're Scottish. I'm like, and you're clever. And the Scottish person would say, you're from Edinburgh. And the Edinburgh person would say, what school did you go to? Because that's what it's about, isn't it? State school or private school? You rich or you poor? Are you Ouija or no Ouija? Not Norwegian. No, we like Norwegian. You see, we've got this thing in Edinburgh. Edinburgh people don't like Glasgow people, and Glasgow people just love it. I remember I was at this party a while ago, and this guy says to me, so where are you from? I said, I'm from Edinburgh. He said, no, where are you really from? I'm like, fine, okay, I was born in Pakistan, but I've been brought up in Scotland. And he's like, no, where are you really, really from? And I'm like, what does he think? Does he think I'm an alien? Does he think I'm a zombie? Does he think I'm American? And before I can say anything, he says to me, you're from the West? I'm like, no. Geographically speaking, Pakistan is in the East. He's like, no, you're from Glasgow. So it turns out it's worse to be a Ouija than it is to be an alien zombie of Pakistani origin. Who is to know, eh? So I grew up in Glasgow, went to university here. The most popular question I got asked was, what school did you go to? Now, I didn't know they were asking me what religion I was. Catholic or Protestant. I'm like, look at me. I'm Muslim. And then wee Jeannie appears and she's like, aye, hen, but are you a Catholic Muslim? Are you a Protestant Muslim? It's all about football, guys. It's all about football. I have been Lubna Kerr, and you have all been fantastic. Thank you so much.